a look at this huge expanse of grassland. The cornfields stretch as far as the eye can see. One would never figure out that most of the time this place is almost a desert. 9 months out of 12, the land is dry. Nothing can grow in it, and the local communities wait for the rainy season to survive. We are in the north of Ghana, Upper East region, and we are heading to Sirigu, a famous tourist attraction renowned for its painted houses.
Abuaje?
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
you ever been here?
Yes.
Here in this place?
Sirigu.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh no, you're lying. You told me you haven't never
Oh
been
no,
here.
no, I haven't here before.
Ylenia mi ha portato nel nulla, siamo gli unici ospiti.
Capretta!
Dopodiché oggi per evitare di prendere la malaria sono corsa in farmacia e mi sto impasticcando di malarone.
E vediamo se mo
Detto
non ci
questo, io
saranno
quando
altre
tornerò a
cose
Roma sarò felicissima, andrò all'aeroporto DH e dirò e vai!
Vabbè dai, i letti sembrano perfetti, sono puliti, siamo dentro la capanna. Come dici? Che dici? Beh, c'è una tenda rudimentale, un bagno anche quello rudimentale, c'erano anche le lenzuoline contro la malaria, insomma,
Sono le reti
possono essere anche una sindone.
pazza.
In caso di morte li possiamo usare per ricoprirci.
Matta. Rischia la vita e non se ne rende conto. Corro di
Perché
corsa.
poi ci stanno dei buchi, quindi in realtà le zanzare entrano. Vabbè, andiamo a vedere com'è il resto del posto, esploriamo. Beh, insomma, io a parte il fatto che sono distrutta da tipo 25.000 ore di viaggio, non lo so, questo posto lo trovo carino e accogliente, diciamo ci potrei passare anche una settimana volendo.
Sono già in protesta, domani andiamo via.
Ma dove siete?
Siamo in un villaggio. Mi senti?
I want to see how these people live. Try to live for one day their daily routine. Walking through these households, I get the feeling that I'm traveling back in time. The air I breathe is clean, there is no pollution. My smartphone has no network. Here in Sirigu, I am happily disconnected from the rest of the world. I feel gladly isolated, but as I listen to the tradition of these people, I reckon how vulnerable they are. All of this might one day disappear. Climate change and desertification will inevitably expand the driest region of the Sahel, bringing along drought, death of the livestock, infertility of the soils. Climate change literacy is minimal in Africa, but some scholars are starting to point out the connection between this ongoing global threat and the drought-related migration.
Stiamo andando a fare un tour del villaggio per vedere com'è la vita nel nord del Ghana, come sopravvivono queste persone, come creano una fonte di sostentamento per loro stessi. Vediamo un po' queste abitudini, queste culture e tradizioni tanto diverse dalla nostra.
Every traditional shelter has a hole on the roof because in the past, sometimes, slave raiders tried to smoke the family inside the house, so the hole would prevent such kind of traps. Traditions like these imbibe the culture of the local communities, included the social behavior. When the village dwellers are forced to migrate because of environmental problems like crop failure, they end up in another age, their adaptation to the urban world being very hard.
Ok, proverò ad entrare dentro il nascondiglio degli schiavi. I'm scared that the dog... I'm scared that the dog comes and attack me. Ok, I'm in. Ecco, in questa stanza si nascondevano gli schiavi durante i raid dei negrieri. Quindi qui era fatto tutto quanto di fango, volevano impedire che potesse essere bruciato. Qui c'è un'altra stanza, però ci sono 2 cani molto arrabbiati, quindi io non entrerò. Eccoci qua. Good. You do this exercise every day? Of course. You were saying me that the marriage was forced?
Yeah, I was saying that sometimes they apply force in marriage. You will not be happy staying with the people. So the only way they will convince you is the marriage ceremony. And that is drumming.
So they do the drumming and prevent the wife
lady,
to go away?
Yes, because mostly they do it in the evening. And that marriage ceremony can take about 2 weeks. Every evening they will come, then they will do the drumming.
And then after 2 weeks she said, okay, I will marry this guy.
Yes.
It's okay, I can take it.
Then in the evening when my friends are coming for the drumming, some will be bringing her presents like clothes, guinea fowls, drinks, and a lot.
And then she's happy, she say, okay.
So get into the 2 weeks. Even if they ask you to go, you will not even go.
I would be happy after 2 weeks.
So get into the 2 weeks, you're not familiar with the people, the family, so you yourself will not even want to go again.
So you can find me a new husband. I'm sorry for my current one. We will try this and see if in 2 weeks I can change my mind after some guinea fowls and dresses.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So this evening...
We'll try.
These are old pottery, and which our forefathers were depending on. They were drinking their water from the big ones, like this. For sacrifice. And with the sacrifice, mostly we use goat, sheep, duck, and then the chicken for the sacrifice.
Dog also?
Yes.
As you can see, the peasants that live here rely on subsistent agriculture. They practice mixed farming by growing maize, millet, okra, beans or groundnuts. Despite the green pastures that you see, the productivity of the soil is scarce. This means that the crops and the livestock that they raise are barely sufficient for their survival. The struggle is permanent. Due to the heat, they build mud store houses where they put the harvest. They will have to survive on that for 9 months, the drought season. During the lean season, they would ration food by cutting down the quantity or frequency of the meals. Otherwise, they would have lunch with wild fruits such as she fruits, dawa or kampoi. If they need some money, they would sell their assets, more likely livestock, for trade at the local market. Livestock includes goats, sheep, cows or poultry. In addition to that, some women weave traditional cloth or baskets as the main source of income. They are also involved in pottery and art painting. This generates money to fund crop cultivation, livestock build-up and buying of raw materials. And the cycle goes on. Water here is more precious than gold. Development projects are set up by the government or NGOs to provide safe water supplies. But not all the villages are so lucky, and today you can still see young girls or boys lining up to fetch some water by a well or a muddy river.
Quindi fondamentalmente quando c'è la stagione secca qui chiaramente tutto questo prato verde che vedete diventa una landa desolata e secca. A vederlo così bello non ci si riesce a credere, però è così. E Di conseguenza praticamente queste terre sono coltivabili soltanto per 3 mesi l'anno e in questi 3 mesi l'anno devono fare il pieno di tutto quello che è possibile, metterlo dentro questi silos che loro ricavano col fango e fare in modo che duri, che le provviste durino fino alla stagione successiva. Allora, stanotte abbiamo dormito 12 ore tipo in questa capanna, non so se si vede dalle occhiaie ma siamo devastate e adesso vediamo come comincia la giornata.
The paintings are what make this village famous in Ghana. Walls have motifs that have different meanings, linked to the social behavior of these people. The triangle, for example, represents a broken calabash. Calabash is used to serve water and food. The circle is the head of a domestic animal. The various geometric shapes are designed with feathers used as brushes. Pebbles are eventually used to smoothen the surfaces of the walls. The effect is outstanding. That's why I want one of these women to help me learn to paint their way.
Siamo riusciti a finire le nostre opere d'arte, chiaramente come vedete la sua è molto meglio della mia, ma è simpaticissima, Faustina.
The importance of women activities during the off-crop season is evident as a bedrock of food and income security in each household. Other income-generating activities are field wood cutting, prepared food selling, or female-dominated small retail activities. The farm sector is strictly linked to all these additional activities, but the rural economy in this area is very fragile. The increase or decrease in prices of some essential goods may result in a death sentence to many. Diversification of the activities would be needed to prevent the livelihoods of the dwellers from external shocks. The non-farming sector should be boosted, and the necessity to acquire essential skills and job training is high. This would help these people to try to ease away from a strictly agrarian existence that leads inevitably to a high rate of migration, leaving the area with the poorer and less educated people. Tourism may be an incentive and an alternative to the daunting challenges that areas such as this one suffer. The government budgets for the natural resources that may stop land degradation are amongst the lowest in the world and are sometimes declining. Investment in tourism and livelihood diversification could be an important driver to reduce poverty and drought-related migration. If you have arrived to watch this video at this point, listen to my personal advice. Go visit Africa, go visit Ghana, and share the beautiful culture of these indigenous communities as an enrichment to the humanity, to be preserved.